Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this MSI Summit E13FlipEvo A11MT-270US. Alright, there's a whole bunch of other numbers here, but the most important ones are those. Let me zoom in here. Right there. Summit. Alright, I don't know, there's all one word. Summit E13FlipEvo. And then that long model number. Okay, let's go ahead and see if we can take this apart. I haven't opened this yet, so we'll see. It looks like we're going to need a PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. And then there's also some screws hidden under here. I peeled one of these off. It's a little bit difficult to do, but you basically just get like something thin and small to pull in there. Okay, I just use my fingernails. You can probably get away with using a small flathead screwdriver or some other thin pry tool. After you peel that out, you do want to kind of like flatten this back out. You don't want to leave it bent if it's bent, otherwise when you stick it on it's gonna like fall off. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Most likely there's a screw hidden there as well. Yep. Okay, and if you start closer to this side, because the screw is there, it's easier to lift, and you're gonna again just slowly work your way over. And it looks like on this one the adhesive is kind of peeling separately, so it helps to actually pull from here, so that way the adhesive will stay attached to the rubber foot. Okay, and again you do want to make sure that this bends back flat just like this. Okay, and we'll set that aside. Okay, so now that we got those two, let's see about getting the screws out. I only see 4. This had liquid damage. I don't know if it's going to be repairable or not. We'll find out. It depends how bad the damage is. If I can't fix it, I'll have to see if my partner can. He does more of that circuit board level component repair. But anyways, let's get these screws out. Okay, the magnet's not strong enough. You might have to use a magnet to help get that out or flip it upside down. There's a factory seal sticker there, so they'll know that you opened it up. Okay, I'm going to see if I can somehow peel that up, but usually these stickers are very brittle and it's just going to end up disintegrating when you try and get it out. So I'm going to try and use this tool and see if I can pick at it. No? Let me try. I'm going to use a very thin acupuncture needle and see if I can do it with that. Okay, so if we can't get under it with this, I don't think we're going to be able to. Okay, and it's very, nope, it's just tearing. So we're just going to have to tear this seal off. Yeah, you can see it's just crumbling, or I don't know if you can see that because it's so small, but it's just going to crumble. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to get a small flathead screwdriver. Okay, and I'll use that and just scrape that seal off. Okay, we're just going to scrape that up. Hopefully we can cleanly do it. I don't know if it's going to scrape the plastic or leave residue behind. I don't like these stickers because they leave a mess, but I mean that's the point. They want to know if you opened up your computer or not. Technically, depending where you live, they can't void your warranty for opening it unless they can prove that it's something you did caused it to stop working. So, yeah. And that does depend on where you live, again, depending on what state you're in, or country for that matter. Okay, so we're going to peel this up. Yeah, this sticker is stuck on there real good. You can skip over this part if you don't want to see this, but I'm just going to scrape up this sticker because I don't want to leave this residue behind. Alright, there we go. Got most of it off. There's still tiny bits of fragments there, but it's alright, it's mostly gone. Okay. Alright, we're going to use the PH0 or JIS0 screwdriver again. Remove that. I have a feeling there's going to be screws hidden under here, so let's go ahead and see if we can peel that up as well. Okay, I hope it can be peeled up. Okay, looks like it's peeling up. And I'm pulling it this way as I pull up on it, okay? So that way it kind of stays a bit more flat, but it is curling. And it is adhesive, so we should be able to put that back, okay? And actually, there's no screws under here, so We didn't need to do that. All right, I'm gonna curl this back down, and we're gonna go ahead and put this back on. That was a waste of time and effort. I was worried there were hidden screws. It's always good to check if you don't know. Since you saw my video now, you won't have to check, because if you try and pull it with those in there, you can actually break stuff. Okay, so I don't see any other screws anywhere, and this thing flips over. This laptop has liquid damage and the screen is not coming on. It's acting like it's in sleep mode. I'm gonna hold the power button and see if that shuts it off completely, because the power light is on and the light went off. Now it's just flashing, so I don't know. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and try and pop this thing open. So let's get my fingernails in there. I'm gonna push on with my thumb on the palm rest and avoid the touchpad and see if we can get it open that way. It doesn't look like it. Let's try and go from this side. Okay, so we get my fingernails in there, and there we go. Okay, you can see we can pop that open. All right, so the clips go that way. We're gonna go over this way. Oh, there's also a battery reset hole here. I'm gonna actually push that and see if that does anything, just to see if it'll shut off the power button light. And the power button light did stop flashing, so that worked. We're gonna go ahead and continue opening this up. And that's kind of like a battery reset release kind of thing, right? Sometimes if your computer doesn't turn on right, you can try pushing that, it might help. All right, I'm getting my fingernails under, and I'm pushing with my thumb here and pulling up with my fingernails, and that disengages those clips, okay? Continue working our way around. All right. And work our way around here. Wow, it's really difficult to get in that gap. There we go. Also, I cut my fingernails a bit shorter now, so it's harder to do it. That's why I like to leave my fingernails longer. All right, so now we got all those clips out. It looks like we can just wiggle this off. And there we go. Look at all of that. Oh no. So they spilled Boba in here. And yeah, that looks pretty bad. I don't know if it's going to be salvageable. I probably need to take a picture to show them, get a close-up of that. So let me do that real quick, and I'll be back. See you guys in a bit. All right, now that we've got that open, we're gonna pop the battery connector out. So let me we can get a thumbnail there. Actually, I need to clean it up. I don't want a thumbnail of the water damage. So here you go, that's the connector. Usually on these, you get under here on the front, and make sure you're just going underneath the battery connector, not the one on the board, and you just pull up. All right, there you go. After you pull it up slightly, we can slide this back and pull that out. All right, it has to slide over that direction. Don't just yank it straight up. You don't want to rip that connector off the board. And there we go. That's the connector. All right. So we got that disconnected. We're going to continue wiping up all this Boba milk tea spill. It's very sticky, so I don't know. This is probably not going to turn out well. That looks, oops, sorry. That looks very bad. So I'm going to have to see what we can do about this. I don't think it's going to be repairable, but we'll find out. Let's zoom out here. I'm going to use some warm water and just like paper towels to clean it off. I'm going to actually be doing that off camera, but basically you just wipe off all this residue and then make sure it's completely dry before you start getting other things out. So let's see here. There's all this liquid in here. I don't think this is going to be repairable, honestly. There's so much liquid in here that... And this is after they let it sit for a while, so... Alright, we're going to disconnect the speaker cable, kind of similar to the battery one, popping it up. Again, make sure you're just pulling the connector itself. Yeah, it looks like these wires are on top, so let me zoom in. Right, you got also the wireless antennas. The one with the little red stripe thing on it goes to the clearish white arrow. I don't know if you can see those. There you go. And then the other one goes to the gray arrow. So we're going to go from the tail, go as close as you can, and then just pull straight up. Same thing over here. Go straight, close as you can, and pull straight up. There we go. And then we got this connector to the speaker. I'm going to get my fingernail under there. You can use plastic pry tools and get as close to the connector as possible, but not underneath the one that's part of the board. I'm going to go from the back and just pull that up. There you go. And I need to remove that so I can get the battery out. All right, I'm getting a spam call. Let me close that. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on disconnecting the battery. The other speaker cable, where's that going? It's going underneath the battery. Okay, and we'll zoom out a bit more. Disconnect the speaker, or the battery screw. There's one there, one down here. Okay, one down here. And one over here. It looks like they made the CMOS BIOS battery attached to the main battery, but with like a adhesive, so you can actually peel that up. Okay, so I'm gonna just peel that off. Oh no, this thing is flooded with the milk tea. It doesn't look good. All right, so I think those are the only screws holding it in. So let's go ahead and see if we can lift the battery out. Oh, there's one more in the middle. Don't forget that one. All right, now that you got that, we're gonna lift this up. Oh, I'm getting another customer calling. So let me take that out. And oh no, there's milk tea underneath the battery as well. This does not look good, and on the touchpad. So I think it's all throughout the entire device. I'm pretty sure this thing is toast. But yeah, all right, give me a second. I'll be back. I'm gonna clean up this a little bit more. See you guys in a bit. All right, so I was actually cleaning a little. We got a little, I put distilled water, but you can use tap water. And I was just wiping this. Make sure the water's not gonna like drip everywhere. It looks like underneath this, there's also some damage. So we are gonna have to pull that out as well. Let's zoom in there. Okay, I think the touchpad's gonna be completely gone, but we'll find out. All right, we'll get the 3 screws out from the bottom here. Okay. That out. Take this plastic piece off. You can see there's a lot of liquid under here as well. We gotta clean that out. The problem with these kinds of drinks is the sugar gets really sticky, and even if it didn't cause any other damage, it'll be like causing problems with it sticking to everything. So yeah, we gotta like clean all the edges and everything, try and get in there, and you kind of have to rinse it. So you basically have to use multiple like things, get some new fresh water after wiping it down, and then wipe it again, and even then it's gonna like stay sticky. It's very difficult to clean these sticky sugary spills. So sorry, I'm like zoomed out or in too much. You can see that brown stuff is getting wiped away. Okay, but again, even after you wipe out the colored, it's gonna still have some sugar in there. It's gonna be very annoying, so we'll see. All right, we'll flip this latch. Once you flip that little black latch, you can pull this cable out. Want to make sure there's no liquid in there. It looks okay. Let's get these 3 screws out. Okay. It's a lot of pieces we're gonna have to remove here. And the screen doesn't come on, so I have a feeling the screen got destroyed. All right, once we got all those screws, I think we can, yep, we can just lift this out. And I don't think there's liquid in here, but you can't tell. Like, it gets sucked underneath the board, and then you can't really do anything about it. All right, just putting a little distilled water on this piece of paper, and we're gonna try and wipe it a little here. You wanna make sure, again, that it's not a crazy amount. You don't want it to drip or leak into the thing or soak into it. You just want it enough to kind of help dissolve the stuff that's there, and then wipe it off. Okay, there's also a lot of like stuff here, and earlier I was seeing here, it's like you can see there's stuff in that chip, so we'll see. I'm gonna need the little toothbrush. What do I do with that? Give me a second. I'm gonna get the toothbrush. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Got the toothbrush. Let's go ahead and scrub this up. So try and get any residue out there. You don't want to have anything creating shorts. All right. Okay, hopefully those things didn't get fried, because usually when liquid gets on there, all right, it shorts out and electricity will travel where it shouldn't go and fries things. That's why it's called short, because it creates a short path to components that it shouldn't be going to. All right, there we go. So that looks better. We'll set that aside. What else we got? There's a fingerprint reader here. Let's see if liquid got under that. And it looks okay, so we'll just put that back. Whoa. Okay, we'll put that back in there. Alright, that just lines up. And oop, there's a little tab that goes in there, and then this just goes down. Make sure it's lined up right. Okay. Get this back in. I'm not going to disconnect it because I don't need to. Alright. We should probably take out the speakers. Let's see. You can see the wireless antenna wires going up under here. Okay. They have this to hide the cabling. Okay. It looks like the other speaker wire actually goes along under here, and they both connect to that one spot. So they're hidden underneath this foam. So let's go ahead and just lift underneath and see if there's liquid trapped there. Is there only that one screw? Oh, the wireless antenna is attached to it, so there's going to be, I don't know if we can actually remove that. I see a lot of liquid in there. That's not good. But it's not lifting up because the antenna is taped down. Maybe this is part of the antenna. Let's go ahead and take that up as well. Okay. If I didn't already mention, you want to keep the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. The way I do it is I put them flat side down on my desk like that in the pattern I remove them. Okay. So again, you don't have to do it that way, but that's how I remember. It makes it a lot easier. Okay, does this come up with it? Yep, looks like it. Oh, there's a lot under there. Look at that. This is really not good. I think I'm careful lifting this up. Clean that all underneath there. Alright. And this can go back down. Yeah, this is pretty bad. I don't know. The liquid is kind of trapped underneath this thing as well. Oh, I can actually peel the antenna up. Yeah, normally this is adhesive that holds pretty strong. So for this to kind of peel up, that's pretty bad. That's a lot of liquid that's in there. Okay, so I'll roll that back over. Make sure you put that copper piece back underneath. Yeah, I don't know if there was adhesive there or if the liquid actually dissolved it, but it feels like, I don't know. All right, let's go ahead and get these screws back in. Here, I don't know if somebody opened this before because this one screw is a little bit stripped. It was like coming at, like the screwdriver was skipping when I was taking it out. Right. Okay, back to this side. We'll get the screws out from this one. Check that as well. You can actually put the touchpad or trackpad back in. I'll put that back after this. Okay, let's lift this one up. Oh, okay. And wiggle that. Oh, I think this antenna's kind of stuck down there. Oh, also this wire. Okay, there we go. This one also has a bunch of boba milk tea under there. It's not good. Jeez. Actually, it doesn't look like they put adhesive on the bottom of this, I don't think. Okay. That back in. Stick that back down. Okay. I'm gonna need a new paper towel. It's getting too concentrated with the tea. Get these screws back in. I'm gonna like rinse that paper towel off and then squeeze it so it's just water. Alright, last few screws. Okay. Alright, let me go do that. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's go ahead and put the touchpad back in. Okay, so this bottom, I guess it just drops in since it has a thing that covers on the top and the bottom. We'll get the 3 screws at the top in. Okay. We're gonna see if, well, the keyboard cable, I already wiped a little bit of that off. So it looked like it was really bad, but I guess it was just, they put black marker there as well. So that made it look worse. We'll see what happens, what it looks like underneath. Okay, let's get these screws back in. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna get this cable back in. You do need to lift that latch up. Okay, while that latch is up, then you can go ahead and get this into place. Right, and then slide your finger over to latch it back down. All right, don't use like a tool to flick it or you can damage it. Right, same thing with the fingerprint reader. We're gonna flip that latch up and we're gonna pull this cable out. You might have to wiggle it a little. Okay, it's not coming out. Usually you grab this blue tab, but it's kind of short, so, oh, there we go. Okay, that connector looks okay. All right, what else do we got here? One other thing to do after disconnecting the battery, we're gonna open the laptop and press and hold the power button for at least 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This is very important if you're gonna be disconnecting the screen cable, so take those few seconds, hold the power button, and then you could potentially save yourself from destroying your screen. In this case, this one's probably already dead, but might as well just take that little effort just in case, right? There's a lot of like Boba stuff here. It's very sticky on the edges, so we're gonna clean that. All right, and then we'll clean this side as well. All right, we'll clean this up. Alright, you can also see the button there for the battery reset thing. Alright, this is the SSD. I'm pretty sure it's an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. We'll remove that one screw, and then we can pop this out. If you want to upgrade your SSD, you can actually just go straight to pulling this out. You don't even have to disconnect the battery, but you do want to make sure your computer's completely shut down. Oh, they had thermal pads here, and you can see it kind of like tore itself a little bit. So I'm going to see if I can scrape this stuff off and put that on there. That's not good. This stuff is way too thin, whatever thermal pad they decide to use. Also, I'm not sure why they put thermal pads like that. It's just putting the heat into the motherboard. Okay, so I don't know why you would want to do that, but okay, that's how they had it. So let's get that in there if we can. Go. All right. Sorry if my head got in the way. Okay, so we got some cables back here. This is an M.2 PCIe NVMe SSD. We're just gonna set that aside. Okay, and CPU is soldered to the motherboard here. All right, we're gonna disconnect the keyboard connector here, or keyboard cable, whatever you want to call it, ribbon cable. We're gonna flip this latch up. All right, once you flip that latch up, we should be able to pull this back. All right. Oh, it might be stuck from that liquid. doesn't want to come out. Let's see. I'm going to try using a piece of tape to see if I can use that to help pull it out easier. So get a small piece of tape here, and we'll attach the tape to the blue tab, and we'll use that to help pull it. There we go. And you want to carefully peel this tape back off. Okay, so there we go. Let's look underneath. Oh no, there's liquid all under there. I'm pretty sure this keyboard is going to be fried as well. I'm pretty surprised that it was working with the like the power button light was flashing, so it's still somewhat working, but yeah, gotta clean that out. Alright, use the toothbrush here, maybe use this air blower. Okay. Clean this out a little bit, it's a little gross there as well. Okay, so that's the keyboard cable. You have the keyboard backlight connector here, so we're going to flip that latch and then carefully pull that out as well. This one's so small and delicate, be very careful. There we go. That cable looks okay, doesn't look like liquid's on it. You got the LCD LVDS connector here. There's this pull tab, but these pull tabs never work for me. Usually I'll just go in with my fingernail on the side corner and pop it up. Okay. Let's see if I can, oh, I need to set it down. Let's try on this side. Yep, there you go. And there's that. This connector looks okay. I don't see any liquid in there, but most likely the liquid went into the screen itself. All right, this cable is very close to the edge. I don't even know how I'm gonna pull this out. I don't know how I'm gonna pull that out. Maybe with the tape, let's try. Okay, there we go, and then pull that out. Alright. I'm not too sure what that cable's for. We'll find out once we get all the screws up. We're going to disconnect the touchpad, trackpad cable from this side, flip that latch, and then get this out. Wow, it's in there tight. Okay, there we go. And there's a lot of gunk under there as well. Be careful, these cables are fragile. Okay. Lift that up, dry that out. Okay. Next, what do we have? I think we just gotta remove all the screws now. So let's zoom out, and we're gonna go ahead and start removing a bunch of screws, okay? So we've got this silver gray one here. There's an arrow pointing to where the screws go. So if you mix them up, or if you don't remember, there's little arrows to tell you where the screws go, right? The only thing is you gotta pay attention. The black one, all the silver or gray ones are on the outside edge here. The gray or silver screws are much shorter than the black ones. If you mix them up, you can destroy your computer, so be very careful with that, okay? So those three, then we got the two here, right? The fans have their own. I think we can take the fans out separately, so I'm gonna see if I can remove those. The fans have 3 screws, and the fan connector's right there. Alright, so we got those 3, and we'll carefully lift. And this cable kind of stretches a little, but you don't want to just yank it out that way. Usually the way I get these connectors out, so I'll like push, and it should rock itself out. Let's see. Okay, so I push sideways instead of trying to pull it, just push sideways, and it should eventually kind of rock itself out. If it doesn't, we might have to put a little force pulling it that way, if you can somehow get a tool to get in the gap. Otherwise, we might have to use a needle nose plier. Yeah, it's really hard to get that out. Let's try with the needle nose pliers like this. We'll grab the edge here, and we're gonna kind of wiggle it. So you can see, oops, I don't know if you can see that, but we're basically wiggling this to rock that connector out. And that's actually holding really strong. And there we go. Okay. Now we can remove the fans, and there's no sign of liquid on the bottom of the fans, so we're good. Here are the fan model numbers if for some reason you need it. There's that one, and there's that one. Okay, if the fans do break, you can take this metal plate off. There are screws there, and then most likely, if you can push from the bottom to pull the propellers out, but you don't really have access to the inner ring, so there's a very good chance you'll end up breaking these propellers trying to get them out. But yeah, just in case you needed, there's a QR code there as well. All right, so we got that. Oh, and I guess this cable, they cover this part with some tape. That's not part of the fan assembly, it's just tape. So if you get a fan and it doesn't have that, keep that in mind. You don't really need that piece. It's just to make it look a little more neat. All right, then we got another, oops, let's zoom out again. Another silver screw up here. Got another black screw down here. Okay, got another silver screw here. Let me move my screws closer together so I have more room. Okay, and then we got another silver screw here, right next to the other one. And you're gonna wanna remember that that one is like right here. There was no screw here, so make sure you skip that, and there's no arrow. Actually, there's an arrow pointing to that one down there, but I think, oh, that's like a hinge screw. So we actually don't need to remove that one. This is a hinge screw. I think this screw can stay there. It's just for the hinge itself, not for the motherboard. Okay, what else? We got one screw here. Got 3 screws holding this in place. Again, you can skip the hinge screw. 3 screws holding this down. 2 and 3. Uh-oh, I got a customer messaging me. And then you got one more screw in this bottom corner. All right, now that we got all of those out, let's zoom out here. Okay, let's see if we can lift this. Oh, let's take this metal plate off first. And there is a little bit of the stuff there. It turned like yellowish brown. That's not good. That means it's in the charge ports as well, which is a very bad sign. Yeah, I can see this does not look good where the charge ports are. All right, clean that up. And we're gonna have to brush it. I don't know if any of these components got toasted from that. They might have. Also, the SSD port here has a big thing of liquid there as well. Uh-oh, my customer's calling. Yeah, that means the SSD might also be fried. Okay, give me a second, I have a customer calling. I'll be back. All right, let's get the Logicboard out if we can. Let's see. Gonna just lift it up. It looks like it flexes. Let's see. I have a feeling ports are in there. Okay, you have the SIM card thing. You have to eject that. You can either use the SIM eject tool, or I just got in there and pulled out at the edge. Okay, headphone jack looks to be somewhat protruding into the frame, so we are gonna have to flex it a little to get that out. And the rest seems okay. Let's see, can we lift from this side? No? Or is there just too much liquid there? It looks like there might be a clip on this side. Okay, oh, we can lift from this side, so we can go like that. And then you got these 2 cables, be careful with that. And we're gonna wiggle and pull this out. And here we go. The back side also has some, oh no. Yeah, that looks, I think that's toast. Look at that. Yeah, that's not gonna be good. I don't think it's gonna work. Okay, we can peel this thing up here. Take a look. Okay, there's all this stuff under here that also looks kind of fried. Yeah, this actually looks like it burned. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's toast. I mean, we can brush this a little, and if we're lucky, it might turn on, but I doubt it. You can see the charge ports, the USB-C ports, also got a lot of gross stuff on them. Okay, I don't know if there's more underneath this. Most likely it was on that area only. Yeah, I think it's just this area. I'm gonna try putting a little isopropyl rubbing alcohol on it and then scrub it a little. Okay, so I got this little thing here. We're just gonna put a little on there and there. I'll try and brush that around. Yeah, that looks bad. I think it's toast. If you look at these tiny ones, yeah, those things are like fried. All right, anyways, there's the BIOS CMOS RTC real-time clock battery underneath. You can pop this out just like the speaker cables and everything. We're gonna roll this back down. Okay, the other side doesn't seem to have much liquid or signs of liquid on it, so it was all on one side. Actually, let's peel this up just to be safe. Be careful because this is very thin, so you want to hold the board on both sides here if you're going to be peeling this up. Okay, oh, they designed this to be difficult to peel up. There we go. This board is super thin. Okay, yeah, nope, I don't see anything under there. That side of the board looks okay. This side of the board looks like it's gonna be an issue. This one also looks really bad there. So I'm pretty sure it's toast. I don't think it's gonna work at all. Clean it a little bit more. I showed the customer and they're like, never mind, don't fix it, because it doesn't look fixable at all. And I was like, I'm almost done taking everything apart. So we're gonna clean this up a little bit more, and then we'll just reassemble it and see if anything changed. I doubt it, but might as well. We did all that work. Oh, where did this come from? What is this? What did I do? I knocked out this little piece. Huh. This is a screen cable. This is most likely for touch screen, possibly camera. I don't know where this little rubber piece came from. I don't see a microphone here. Give me a second. I'm gonna rewatch my video and find out where this came from. Alright, so I figured it out. It's for the little LED. It goes right there. There's a little kind of, what do you call that? It's kind of like one of those scope thingies, so, or fiber optic kind of thing, where the light shines in and it bounces off at angles to go. Alright, so there we go. Let's go ahead and get this back together and see if we have any luck. Also, this keyboard is held in with a bunch of tiny screws. You probably need a PH0 or 00 to get those out. So you can replace the keyboard on this model. Yeah, you don't have to worry about what do you call using a special like melting plastic or anything to get that out. Right, so we're gonna get this back in. We're gonna tilt this, get that side in first, make sure it's all lined up, slowly lower it down. This is gonna be a little tricky here. Make sure all these wires and cables end up back on top of the motherboard, or in this case it's called a Logicboard, but I think a lot of people still just call it motherboard. Okay, anyways, we got that lined up. Make sure you push that back in. Okay. Why are the screw mounts not lined up right? Oh, Make sure this side stays in the right spot. Also, make sure this switch lines up when you drop this down. It does need to fall in this, there's a slot there that it needs to go in. So make sure it goes in right. Okay, and USB-C port, everything's lined up. Okay, let's see, how am I gonna get this cable back in like that? I would think you'd have to plug it in the motherboard first and then do that because it looks like they use adhesive, but let's see, I can probably use this little tab here, okay, to kind of angle it downwards, and then as I angle it downwards I can probably get it in. Let's see, pull that back and there we go. All right, make sure that's in, slide your finger over to latch it down, get this, line it up, make sure it's lined up. Okay, click that down. All right, we got these cables, make sure we get those back in. I'm gonna use, oops, sorry. Got these little cables, let's make sure we get those. I'm gonna use a little tweezer to help pull it back out from under there. Okay, get that in, line it up, push that in place. Okay, they drew little lines on there so you know when it's all the way in. Slide your finger over. Keyboard cable, make sure that latches up. Same thing. Pull it back, get that in. Slide your finger over to latch it back down. Over here, keyboard backlight cable. Pull that back. It's so hard to do this because everything's so tiny. And there's also not much slack, so okay, get that in. Slide your finger over to latch it down. All right, fingerprint reader, make sure that's up. Pull it back. Okay, get that in. Slide your finger over to latch it down. Okay, these cables need to go underneath the battery, so we'll wait. All right, let's start getting screws back in. We can put the SIM card slot thing back in there. All right. We'll start with the 3 silver screws down the side. Okay, there we go. And we got the longer black screw up here. Right, shorter black screw down here. All right, then we got silver screw up here. Short black screw down here. Another silver screw here. Okay, we had black screw here. We have this metal plate here. How did this go? Did it go this way? I flipped it. Wait, what? Oh, this attaches under here. Does it? No? What is going on? Oh, it goes all the way up here. My bad. Okay. That lines up there. Okay. We got the black screw here. It's a long, one of the longer ones. Silver screw here. I'm just loosely fitting these 3 first because it can wobble around a little bit. Oops, sorry. And then other silver screw here. All right, now that we got all 3 in, tighten that all the way down. got one more screw down here. All right, we got the fans. Get that in, line up the connector. Make sure when you put the connector in that it goes straight in. You don't want it going at an angle. Okay, and then pinch that in. I like to pinch both sides like this, so that way it's not putting all the force on the connector on the board. Get that lined up. 3 screws for the fans. Also, if you want to remove the screen, it's pretty simple. I didn't show it because I didn't need to. This thing's completely dead, but you would open the screen 90 degrees, hang it off the edge of your desk, undo the hinge screws, and then you gotta peel up the cables because I'm pretty sure they use adhesive there. Okay. All right, fan screws back in. Next we got the battery. Let's zoom out here. Actually, we can put the SSD in first. So SSD, go in slightly at an angle. You can hold this connector just to make sure it doesn't push it out. Wiggle it in, and there we go. Make sure it goes behind that little raised screw mount. You don't want to screw this down and have it like wedged in between and then crack it. There we go. Okay, now we need the battery. Battery's here. We're not going to plug in the battery yet, but we're just going to get this into place. Okay, drop it in. Still some water on it. Get all the screws back in. We've got one down here. Other one down here. Got 3 going along the middle. Right, CMOS battery was stuck up there. Then you got the wireless antennas and the speaker cable. Line it up and just click it down. All right, you got the one with the red band on it going to the empty arrow, and then the one without it going to the filled arrow. Let me see if I can zoom in here to show you a little bit better. Okay, so line this up. Make sure it's lined up before pushing down. Okay. I'm gonna, let's see, put this wire here. Oh, I guess that's fine. All right, line that up and click that down. There we go. All right, now we got the battery connector. I think that's all. Everything else is connected. So the battery connector, you want to get the rear wings in first. So you got to pull the connector slightly that way. Go at an angle, get that in there, slide it back. Once you slide it back and it won't move backwards, you can click it down. All right, so let's, oh, why doesn't it want to go in? Let's take a closer look here. Oh, the clips are, I'm gonna push one side first, and then hopefully we can do the other side after, because the clips, you might have to like push the clip in like that way. Okay, so I'm pushing that in, and there we go. All right, so we got that all back in. Let's get the bottom cover back on, and that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Other than that, that's pretty much it. You're welcome to stay as I get everything back in and then see if it does anything when we try and turn it on. Okay, I kind of doubt it. Again, the thing is fried. Oh, why is there a piece of paper towel in there? Don't leave that in there. Okay, get that. Okay, click everything back in. Good. All right, let's get the last 4 screws in and then see if we can power it up. The USB-C port areas did look fried, so I kind of doubt it's going to do anything, but we'll find out. It was showing like lights on it a little bit, but now that we reset it, it might know that it's completely fried and not be able to power on, so we'll find out. Also, I'm not sure if the SSD is fried because there was liquid on top of the connector, so there's a chance it could be okay, but I don't know, the chance is kind of small. Alright, so we got all those screws in. Don't forget to put these little thingies back in. Line up the little pegs and stick it down. Stick it down. Alright, let's flip this guy over. Power button. Nothing's happening. I don't see any lights or anything. We might have to plug it in for it to turn on, so let's try that. Let me grab their charger real quick. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Let's plug this in, see if anything happens. I see an orange light on here. Oh, it was on and then it turned off. Power button. Nothing. Oh, power button's lighting up. I don't think anything's going to come on the screen. It might be just doing what it did before, which is basically light up and then nothing. Battery light is white. So, oh, we have life. We have life. Is it actually going to work, or is it just going to keep doing that? I didn't disconnect the BIOS battery, so... Whoa! Wait a minute. It's actually on. I'm going to update and restart and see what happens. It's working! Alright, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.